Hey everybody, it's Michelle again. Just here to spend some time with you, share some stuff that's on my mind. Just make sure, get things out the way. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and give me some thumbs up. And then also visit my website. I have quite a few blogs there. I do a lot of writing, keep up to date with resources and stuff, and spiritual resources. And also my book, God, listen, the light ain't even on it and it's still shining. It's, I can't, but it's illuminating. My goodness. God, a lesbian in the space in between. Shout out to Kara Baker, my graphic designer. Oh my God. She's on Facebook. Look her up. Cara Baker, Baker. Excellent. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and read this letter this young man wrote me. I'm so proud of him, by the way. Here it is. Dear Michelle, thank you for taking the time to read and give feedback to my letter. I saw your YouTube to Vonda a week ago, and I decided to write you to get advice on my situation. I am a man over 40 years old, and I've been in the closet all my life. Although my mother caught me kissing a boy once when I was around 8 years old, which was horrifying, she never addressed it with me. But the look on her face was enough because I knew what disappointment looked like on her. As an adult, there have been times when I was happy and in love, but eventually everything would fall apart. I've been in therapy for years about this, but I haven't been able to be my true self in front of my mother, and I know she doesn't approve. I've had 3 serious relationships, and I broke it off with all 3 men. The last guy proposed to me, but I couldn't marry him because he wanted me to be out. He was comfortable in his own skin, and he loved me without fail. Woo! I don't know who you are, but I could feel that. But I couldn't break myself to risk my church, family, and job knowing who I truly am. Leaving my last boyfriend broke my heart more than he knows. No matter how happy he made me, I couldn't shake this horrible feeling I had inside regarding my sexuality. Now I've met the man of my dreams and I won't lose him. The pain from the previous breakup put me in a state of depression for 5 years that I couldn't get out of. But this guy I am planning to propose to because I can't go back to that space again. Michelle, I want to leave my shame in the closet with the last man I dated. That's a heavy statement, bro. That is so heavy. And I don't want to take it with me in this relationship, into this relationship. All my friends are in the closet and it's just become too much. We sit around and talk about our relationships and how toxic they become after a short while. I'm tired of living like this. You were so right when you told Vonda how she needed to be open and honest because she needed clean hands. Thank you for saying that. I needed to hear it. The man that I'm with now is worth coming out of the closet for, but so am I. I finally have the strength to hold his hand outside in public, but it's in a different place than where we live. But he's been patient and not pushy. He's given me time to get comfortable, and he never penalized me for keeping him a secret. How do I live an honest and open life without fear? Wow. So, Mr. Anonymous, I am really, really proud of you for writing that letter. I mean, if you didn't even send it to anybody, you wrote it, and it's out of you now. It's out. You know, that's why I do a lot of writing in my journal, and my therapist gets to read it. But boy, do I have stuff to write about. But I find that once I write it down, y'all, it's gone. Like, I don't even have the attachment to the emotion anymore. So I think that your emotions, period, have to be processed like anything that runs through your system. Your body takes the nutrients, but it flushes out all the toxins. So when you experience things emotionally, I think that writing is a way of releasing the toxins, and your body takes the lessons. Your spiritual and emotional body takes the lessons. So that's what I think about that. So first off, let's address the mom seeing you kiss that boy. Child, listen. First of all, you're not alone. There are so many mothers that have walked in on their kids kissing kids of the same sex, right? Sometimes, parents react Their reaction, number one, I believe, sets the foundation for the way that child is going to perceive him or herself and their sexuality. Period. We are a blank slate when we're little. We, when we're kids, we look at our parents' reactions and how they respond to things and what they do and what they say. And we're like, that's how you're supposed to do it because mommy or daddy did it that way, right? So I can understand while growing up, while, being in relationships as an adult, you were in really healthy relationships, but you started to get, to the point where the relationship, or both of you did, to the point where the relationship didn't work in all three relationships. So there are three different men, but one common denominator. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It doesn't mean that you did it on purpose or you're not even conscious of it. But when I read your letter, this is what I saw. This is what God showed me. The event where you were kissing a boy was combined with your mother's disappointment. So as an adult, when you grew up, you were experiencing those two things together because the origin of our experiences, we're going to always remember our first experience, what it felt like, what it smelled like. There's a nostalgia with everything. So not even knowing as a little boy that your mom she shouldn't have given you that response of disappointment, but they don't know how to handle us. Especially the Black community, the Black baby boomers, they have no idea how to relate to queer family members. They've never been taught. They've never seen anything like us. They've never seen anybody that's as out as Michelle is. That's why they think she's crazy and lost her mind, but that's okay. So you had that experience with that boy, and it could have been an amazing first kiss, right? Oh my God, it was beautiful. It was great, right? But then here comes your mom, and that would have a connection for your entire life until you sat down on somebody's couch and figured it out on your own. Boy, them couches, they bring out some good stuff. All right, so I can understand why you are actually in the closet. That would make anybody go into the closet and not even know why they're doing it. To have that type of love and compassion and attraction to a person, and to feel like it's disgusting. I understand that. I get that. And it's not your fault. It's not your mom's fault either. So, basically when we don't live our truth, when we don't decide, when we don't make a decision to live our truth, what happens is we become compliant to the decisions that the folks who are judging us have made for themselves, right? It's just like going to Safeway, right? There are different ways around the corner, right? There are several different ways to get to Safeway, but each way leads to Safeway. It might take some longer, it might take some shorter time, but it all gets to the same place, get you to the same place. So you've got to make sure that your life represents the value that you have within yourself as a man, number one. And you have to value yourself as a man because, number one, you've already got a lot against you in society as a Black man. Number two, you've got to make sure that your presentation to the world is as stellar as it can be as a gay man. So you don't want folks to look at our community and say, oh, they're always ashamed, so we can continue to bully them. Oh, they're always not going to say anything. They're going to sit there and be ostracized and criticized and stand up there in front of thousands of people while somebody tell you that you're going to hell for being a homosexual. No, you got to walk out. You know what I'm saying? You got to make sure that you protect that little boy that's inside of you. And we always neglect that because we don't even know that it's there. But if you could see yourself as a child, how would you take care as an adult of your child self? You would protect it. You would keep that child really safe and away from harm mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So the reason, I read this a while ago, the reason why when there were slaves in America, there still are, but that's something else. When there were slaves in America, they were not allowed to read and write. And I was listening to some documentary the other day, And the guy said that the slave masters did not want the slaves to learn to read or write so that they wouldn't be able to record what was happening to them. Now, awareness is something to me that it's like a seed, right? So you, like for me, for example, I could sit here till I'm blue in the face and tell a family member, hey, I know we have our differences, but I would just really like respect. I don't want to hear about what you think about who I'm married to or what you think about it at all. I want to hear your little comments on the side. To me, that's disrespectful and it's not loving. But what happens when you make them aware like that, it becomes a seed. And that seed might take some time to actually blossom into respect, which you should have in the first place, or compassion, which they should have in the first place. Right? So you've got to continue to drop those seeds so they can be aware of what they're doing. Because if we sit there and we take it and we don't say anything, that anxiety builds up in us and it becomes resentment, and then becomes resentment against ourselves. That's the one thing that I wish, if I had a magic wand, that I could erase all of the queer people in the world, all of their resentment towards themselves, because of what religion has taught them and has done to them and has said to them, right? I wish I could do that, because then they would be able to see that He loves them as they are. But they cannot, most queer people cannot get past the definition that everybody else has placed on them. It is not easy for me to stand up for myself. It is not easy for me to address people and to correct people and to speak up and to say, hey, that's crazy. Nope, I don't want to deal with that. It's not easy. It has never been easy. It wasn't easy. And I talk about it in my book where my mom, my wife and I, we went to her house to tell her that we were getting married. Listen, I was shaking. Like, I was so nervous because I knew that she was going to say something just negative. I knew she was going to be terribly like homophobic, and I just knew it. And I explain what happens in the book, so you got to get it for that to find out what happened. But I understand, I get it. But what I do is I separate myself from that fear, right? I say, what is causing this fear? What's happening? What's going on? And then once I dissect it for myself, I separate it. I'm like, so no matter what that looks like, I'm going to make a decision to stand up for the little girl inside of me, right? So people think I'm very resilient. Oh my God, Michelle, you're so strong. No, I'm not. I just make a choice. With each situation, I make a choice individualistically, right? But don't be upset with your mom. It's just who she is how she was raised. And unfortunately, that generation was taught that what they learned is the truth and nothing else can be different. Anything else is a lie. So, you keep planting those seeds with your mother. Hey, and be kind about it. But also make sure that you keep yourself in a safe and accepting environment. Okay? Now, I'm really happy that you decided to come out and be, live your best life, honey. Do it, child. Do it, girl. Oh, so I'm really, really, really excited about that. But I really want you to slow down too. I need you to go find a therapist, and you need to do some type of role playing before you go talk to these people in your family, before you sit down with them, because what you don't want to do is go into a situation and say, hey, I'm queer, I'm here, and I'm here to stay, right? Oh, I can't believe I just said that. But anyway, so you want to make sure you have your own foundation of support within yourself. Like if I go and I haven't done any research and I haven't done any studying, and I try to talk to somebody about a subject matter that I'm not really, really that educated in, I'm going to fail. That conversation is not going to go anywhere. So what you've got to do is you got to prepare yourself for that conversation. You've got to be aware. You've got to learn. You've got to study. You've got to acknowledge, right? And be honest about some stuff. be honest about yourself with your therapist, because your therapist is going to be the person that's going to be able to objectively correct your perception, right? So that when you go and talk to your mom, right, you know, like emotionally and spiritually, you got some armor on. Yup, it's all right if she don't agree. It's good because I'm going to be okay. Not everybody agrees with everything. You know, you got to have some type of a foundation of confidence before you go in there. And I just want to make sure that I affirm you today. Like, if nobody else does, God loves you as you are. And don't ever let anybody separate you from the idea that God accepts you as you are. And whatever God may be to you, I have so much respect for all religions, for all people. So I'm not, you know, I talk Christian a lot because that's just the way I was raised. And that's how I connect to my divinity, right? To that divine connection. But I'm really, really proud of you, Mr. Anonymous, for standing up for yourself. Take baby steps with your therapist. Don't jump out there. Get some good therapy first. Lay on that couch. Lay on it. Okay, but anyway, that's all I got for today. You guys, again, subscribe to my channel. Make sure you visit my website, agirlaftergodsheart.com. My book is on Amazon. God, a lesbian, and the space in between. All right. Peace out.